For several days, Florence, the capital of Tuscany, has felt like a ghost town, waiting for the tourists who seem to have vanished into thin air. Shops are empty, restaurants and terraces deserted, and taxis are waiting endlessly for a client.
We're stuck. Before we had a customer after another, with a very short wait between each one. Now we have to wait for an hour, and that's if we're lucky.
It's a similar situation for the hospitality sector. This hotel in the historic centre is having to manage an endless stream of cancellations since the health crisis erupted. A worrying situation for the manager and 14 staff members.
Financially speaking, we're making terrible losses. We have 95 rooms here in this hotel, and at the moment, only 20 of them are occupied. If we keep getting cancellations, our losses are going to increase every day. So far, we've already lost 50 to 60% of our revenue.
Tourism represents 13% of the Italian GDP, and in Tuscany alone, this sector makes €5 billion a year. But the region is also known as one of the centres of the luxury goods sector. This business makes leather accessories for international luxury fashion houses.
These are dramatic times because we have no idea how the situation is going to evolve with the coronavirus. Sales to Chinese buyers represent between 20 and 30% of turnover in the luxury goods sector. And we sell a large part of our leather goods to China. We will be in serious trouble if we can no longer sell to them.
Not only sales, but also supplies could become problematic if the health crisis continues. Because here, some materials are imported from China, like these fabrics for the insides of the bags, or the zips. All these accessories arrive by boat, usually into the port of Genoa, one of the largest ports in Europe and the main point of entry for Chinese merchandise, that is a source of supply for much of Italy's industries. Last year, 68 million tons of merchandise came through here. Since January, Chinese containers are a rare sight.
We're effectively seeing a near total halt in traffic to and from China. This could have an important impact on the Italian economy because imported merchandise is not arriving. It's difficult to export to that market.
A serious impact for industry, but also for millions of Italian families. All the schools and universities throughout the country were closed as of the 4th of March. In this secondary school in Palermo, Sicily, the classrooms are deserted. In order to maintain lessons for the 1,400 students, the school has created an online platform for study.
We have virtual classes where the students can interact with their classmates and their teachers for all the different classes. Each teacher has a dedicated space to upload homework. We're not abandoning the students or interrupting their education.
Forza, andiamo a fare I compiti. Spegnete la televisione. Vai, vai. Forza, forza.
This Sicilian family is finding it difficult to adapt to this new situation of no daily school. As they can't afford childcare, Tiziana has to stay at home to look after the children.
I'm finding it difficult to keep the children busy all day long. I work part-time, but with all of this, I've had to stop completely. So financially, it's very tough for our family.
It's out of the question for Tiziana to ask the grandparents to take care of the children, as she knows that the elderly are the most at risk of infection.
Giuseppe is very scared. He's 7. He hears about death, of the danger, above all for grandparents. He's always asking me if his grandparents are okay. If he hears one of them coughing, he's worried they have to get medical help, and he knows there's no room in the hospitals.
And with reason. In Sicilian hospitals, the available places in intensive care for patients with coronavirus are scarce. For the government, it is therefore absolutely imperative to avoid a massive contagion.
Public Health Centre. Okay. Yes, madam. Keep calm. You mustn't worry.
This newly created public health crisis centre in Palermo has received thousands of calls from worried Sicilians. And in the city's streets, the concern is palpable.
We're not reassured, we're worried. It's particularly difficult for those with young children or of older parents.
There's a gloomy atmosphere. We follow the news on TV all day.
We're more careful about the way we interact with other people, and we really hope they manage to bring the spread of the virus under control.
A desire shared by all Italians. But in the meanwhile, most people are staying at home, waiting and hoping that the worst health crisis in recent Italian history will draw to a rapid close.